Well, let's shift focus. Delayed and weak monsoons in India have not only added the woes of farmers and government, but also the seed companies. To understand what is the impact of weak monsoon on sowing in India, we're joined by C. Mithun Chand. He's the ED of Kaveri Seeds, and even Prabhakar Rao, chairman of NSL Seeds, joins us on the show for our discussion. Mr. Rao, come to you first. You have about 1,000 crore in sales in this particular space and enjoy a fairly large market share. Because of weak monsoons in several, agriculture-led states in India, how much significant impact are you witnessing in the business?
Yeah, I think there is an impact to the extent of about 10% on the sale of seeds this year. Fortunately, some companies like ours were not hit to the extent of the full 10%, while others, I think, lost even more than 10%. The 10%, therefore, is the average number for the whole of industry. Those companies with a better brand equity, I think they could manage with about 4-5% drop in the sales, while those, I think, the others might have lost up to 20%.
Right, that's the word, Mr. Rao. Let's take it straight to Mr. Chand to find out what kind of an impact he's saying. Mr. Chand, if you could just quantify it for us in terms of delayed sowing, what has been the revenue impact for you?
Hi. As rightly said by Mr. Rao, it has been down by more than 10% this year. And the good branded quality seeds have been preferred by the farmers in this regard. And during these drought conditions and this impact, we have increased the revenue by more than 100% compared to previous year. So this was a very good year for us in terms of the revenue generation. And as other companies have taken a lot of it in that, and most crops like paddy and the crops which are under the irrigated segment is taking a hit, and it may continue. We need to wait for another 1 or 2 months to see the actual impact on these crops.
Mr. Rao, of course, this time round business is impacted, however little for your company, but we understand that you're also in the process of raising funds from the primary market via the way of IPO. Do you think that business impact this year round could also lead to some delay in your IPO, or the fundraising plans are still on track?
Actually, we are considering this possibility of going for an IPO, but we have not yet frozen any timelines for that. It is just in a kind of a internal debate stage. So, but in fact, I was referring to the drop vis-a-vis the budget, because we have planned for a growth of about 30% vis-a-vis last year top line. So I was referring to this 5% drop against the budgeted numbers. As compared to last year, in any case, we have registered a growth of more than 25%.
So, Mr. Rao, can we expect something to fructify in terms of your IPO? I know you said that there's no definite timeline, but say within the next 6 months?
That, I think, I'm not sure about that, because we are still, as I mentioned to you, we are still in the process of debating this idea and getting ready for it. So once we are ready, I think we'll definitely, then I can predict the timelines. At this point of time, we are not ready to speak about any timelines.
All right, Mr. Rao, thanks a lot for joining us. Mr. Chand, before we let you go, there's also, something developing on the government side as a target of seed replacement side. 40% is what the government is actually targeting. Do you think that that is a realistic growth rate?
Yeah, it is a realistic thing, but it's a very aggressive move what government is taking, and they need to educate a lot in terms of the farmers' education, and even there should be a lot of penetration of hybrid seeds so that the average of seed SRR may go up. But it's a quite achievable task, but a lot of measures need to be taken into it.
Mr. Chand, appreciate you taking the time out and joining in with as to what the deficient monsoon means for your company. So both the companies clarifying that this time around the poor rainfall has been a threat to the seeds, but by close to 10%. And now they will be waiting for next 1 to 2 months to see what the impact of a drought is going to be.